Well, welcome in, guys, to the live Sunday show-off show. We almost had a derailment today because I had 3 computers trying to open this sucker to get going, but we're here. We made it. Welcome in, guys. Give you guys a little bit of time to jump in. We got 7 people already, and the chat is on fire already. I have 3 guys that are very cool guests tonight, but let's get to some business and let people jump on, give them time. So if you would please consider giving me a subscribe and comment down below, I appreciate that. And don't forget to smash that like button if you're jumping in here. And you can check me out on Instagram and drop me a line at sidequest@gmail.com. I have links for all our guests too down below. I actually just updated them before we jumped on here. And why don't we jump into it? Because I'm a little out of sorts right now. I want to jump right into it and get some of our guests on here. So I'm going to start off. Let's see. So first up here, we got Up and Adam. I'm going to jump him on. Adam, welcome in. Thank you for coming on.
Hey, thanks so much. Glad to be here.
And then we have Chonko Comics and Nerd Culture joining me. He's kind of local to me, so I'm excited to have you on here. And maybe we can make some local references that nobody else knows.
Right. Absolutely.
And then my good buddy Dope from Dope Comics is jumping in. Oh, look at him. He's doing the Hogan pose.
What is going on?
What's going on, Dope? Thank you for joining me, you guys. I'm excited because I am testing out something on you guys today. So some of you have already played. Dope, you've played my Icons game. Well, I got a new game for everybody too tonight. So we're going to try this one out, see how it plays. It's simple. It's not gonna hurt. it's not trivia, so don't feel like stressed out. It's pretty simple, but when we get to it, we'll get to it. Let's check in with our chat right away. I always forget to watch our chat, and it is like already on fire. And look who's first. Look who's first. Dope.
I think I did that before I found out I was coming on tonight.
Yeah, and then look at another one, Adam. He's second. Oh, yeah. And then Big Nasty saying hello, everybody. He wanted
to stop. Chonko?
We miss you. Hang in there, Big Nasty.
In the chat.
And let's see who we got. Christopher Parker jumping in here, saying hello to everybody. Yeah, he caught the morning show and he got a little bit of you, Adam. So, Adam, you're just going all day today, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. We got K Munins in here. Welcome in. Thomas is saying hey. Matt likes comics saying what's up. Hey Matt. RPO Collectibles. Man, we got a lot of people here. Our good friend Stevie D. There he is saying hi, guys. I think I got everybody. Everybody's saying hi. So, all right. Let me do that. So the way I start the Sunday show off is I like to find out about you guys a little more, and I'm sure our viewers do. So I'm going to start, Adam, with you since you're right next to me. Yeah. And we're going to go over a little bit of an origin. What got you into collecting comics, and what is like your favorite character in comics?
Yeah, I guess, my first exposure really to picking up a comic that I wanted was, going to a 7-Eleven with my grandmother and, getting some Slurpees, some penny candy back in the day. And then she was like, hey, go pick out a comic. And so I got Avengers 221. And then because it just had a lot of characters on it. And I was thinking about some of the characters, like I loved watching like Spidey and His Amazing Friends, and even watched Electric Company Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
So I enjoyed all that stuff, but like some of the big characters, like when you're just going to a convenience store back in the day when you're a kid, like picked over. So there's no like Spider-Man comics, there's no Batman comics, there's none of that. So I picked up an Avengers, and then went back to our house, was reading through it, and I was like, oh man, I really want more. So I was like, what can I do to do more? So she had me like cut some hedges and do some weeding and stuff, and then gave me a couple bucks, and I went back, and I remember I actually got a Hulk 272 was first one early one that I got. There was a What If 34, and it was just like collecting a bunch of heroes and stuff like that I had, and an early Conan book. So that was kind of like started me, but very sporadic in trying to get different issues just from a newsstand at a convenience store, because you never knew what you were going to get.
Yeah.
But in terms of favorite characters, so I'm a big Fantastic Four collector, but I tend to really like bad guys. So kind of Doctor Doom is my favorite.
Awesome pick.
Yeah, so I love Doctor Doom, but I mean that's been kind of my big book, to collect.
Okay. I'm kind of the same way too. I like the villains; they're more interesting to me.
Yes, if you can write a good villain that makes you feel something for them, feel that they're right occasionally.
Yeah.
Like One World Under Doom right now is doing that. Like you feel like, hey, this really isn't that bad of a life to live.
Yeah.
So if you can get that kind of feeling from it, that's what makes villains work. Yeah.
All right, Chanko, I need an origin story from you. And I'm curious for a favorite character for you, because I know you collect a lot of the older stuff now, but I'm still curious of if you have a favorite character and the origin story. I'm always curious about how you guys get started.
Sure. So I've told it a couple times. Hopefully people don't get sick of seeing me on streams, but when I was really young, my elderly aunt used to read Marvel Treasury editions to me, and like this one, the Hulk Treasury edition. This isn't the copy; I had to replace it, but I had that, and I had the Howard the Duck, and that's really what got me into comics and reading. And I had a couple of the books with the 45s, like the Spider-Man one, and like the Planet of the Apes one.
Oh yeah,
that's really where I learned to read, was like following along with that, and then gradually just reading with comics is how I learned how to read. And I really desperately wanted to learn how to read at like 4 years old or something, because I wanted to read comic books. And over time, just anytime I could twist my mom's arm to buy me a comic off the spinner rack or the drugstore, wherever we were, I would get whatever I could. And then in the 80s, I really when I was middle school, I really started collecting. That's when I started collecting X-Men, the Claremont run of X-Men.
Okay.
And
we're very similar that way.
Yeah, I think a lot of people our age, we were when there was that run, and particularly like how cool Wolverine was, and that growing up, Wolverine was my favorite character, but my favorite comic of all time and my favorite character of all time, Cerebus, the Dave Sim independent. But yeah, for superheroes, I've always gravitated toward the anti-heroes. So Wolverine, Punisher, Ghost Rider, Batman, just kind of the ones that are a little rough around the edges and maybe not totally goody.
They're kind of broken in their own way.
Yes, I've always liked, kind of a little violent, that kind of thing.
Okay. Well, dope. I almost think I know what your favorite character is, just looking behind you, dude. But for viewers, give us a quick summary of how you got into it, what your favorite character is.
I live in a small town outside of Nashville. We had one comic book store. It was January 1st, 1991. I had a pocket full of money from Christmas. Walked into a comic book store looking for monsters because I love everything horror. The old man behind the counter said, all we got is Hulk and Ghost Rider. I said, I'll take them. And that's been my two favorite, comic book characters ever since. But I collect a lot of pre-code horror. I collect a lot of 60s horror, 70s DC horror, any kind of indie horror, anything I get my hands on. But I still love the major two, which is Ghost Rider and Hulk. So,
yeah, you don't have a lot of Ghost Rider figures, do you? I know you got some.
Nothing like this, but
they don't make that many.
They didn't make as many of those as they did Hulk.
No.
Hulk, they just changed the pants color on and put out another one every year.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a
Ghost
little
Rider.
harder
What
to
I really
convince.
want is the Ghost Cycle. But
Yeah, there's a
that's
couple
hard to
I've
find.
seen out there. Like I think the company's Mondo. I think it is. It's kind of very like Amigo-esque, and they make a full motorcycle for them. But man, I think it's over $200.
I think the Hot Toys does too, and it's over 1,000. So
Yeah,
But-
yeah. I like action figures, but I don't like them that much. I mean,
yeah. Plus his big bike takes up a lot of room on your shelf. But I still want one.
yeah, it'd be pretty cool. Well, all right. So that was just a summary of you guys of where you are and like some of your characters. But we're gonna jump right into our first game. You guys know I like playing games with you guys to help generate some conversation in comics. Let me go to our little bumper. Icon. I pressed the wrong one at first. So Icons is a game that I play with my guests that I draw two iconic comic characters out of a bucket. We talk about them. We talk about like their power levels, their origins, what we personally think of the characters, and that type of thing. And then, we see what happens when we versus them. So I have a bunch of names in my little cup here. I need to put it in the bucket. I try not to knock everything down here. We put it in the old bucket head.
Nice.
So, all right. I need to update this pretty soon, I think, too. I need to start adding some indie guys. So here's one. I don't even know who it is. Okay, that's a pretty good one. Let me see. Let's see. Okay, interesting. So this is going to be an interesting matchup, I think, guys. So the first one that we have today is, I don't know if this is going to show up on camera. We have The Thing.
All right.
Nice.
So starting off, I think everybody knows The Thing's first appearance, right?
I think so.
Yeah. I need my bell. Ding, ding. Fantastic Four #1 in what year was it? 61. So that's when that
1961.
came up. So what do you guys? Who wants to jump in and talk about The Thing? I mean, he doesn't have so much a power level, but he does have, some kind of power, right? And it's very unique, especially of that time. I mean, he can't fly. He can't levitate. He can't create something with some kind of force field power type of thing. There we go. There's the thing right there. Old Ben Grimm. He's a very iconic to Marvel, right? Wasn't Marvel really trying to push him where he was the forefront, a figurehead for Marvel back in the day? I mean, he's from the first family. I never really got into Fantastic Four. I love Doctor Doom, though. He's a villain that crosses all the genres. And The Thing, I think The Thing is a character that can stand away from the first family on his own. I mean, he did have plenty of his own series. So,
Marvel 2-in-1 was.
Yeah, I love that series. It was a good way to see other Marvel heroes in the Marvel universe.
Adam, hold your ears, but The Thing's a loser. He's beat by the Hulk every time.
Hulk versus Thing, number 12. Yeah.
I do like Fantastic Four #12. That's a great issue.
Yeah, I mean, The Thing is kind of cool. Kind of some of the neat things about the FF is just, they're kind of earth, air, fire, water, and Ben Grimm is the earth part of it. But he was kind of like trying to make him into, coming out of the pre-superhero Marvel monsters. He was kind of like the first monster kind of brought on. So, but he was like a human, kind of trapped in a monster's body. And then that, it wasn't like a transformation like the Hulk was, it was just like, this is a permanent, but it really kind of made some good dynamics within the family too, of being mad at Reed for not being able to turn him back and convincing him to go on the trip and not testing all that stuff. And so there was a lot of good drama created with all that. So but yeah, he's got a lot of good superhuman strength and pretty indestructible for the most part.
Clobbering time, right? That's his catchphrase.
Yeah.
It's clobbering time.
He's the one who got clobbered, though.
Yeah.
I got tired. Why did Marvel take away his cigar? I mean, what year was that? He was cool.
I think
when
they
he had
did
the
that
cigar.
for everybody. That was I think a
Wolverine's cigarette
90s
got took
thing.
away too.
Yeah.
I remember Logan used to smoke there for a while.
Oh, yeah,
Gambit.
for quite a while, yeah, all the way through the
Yeah.
80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, the thing, like personality. I like to, Ben Grimm as a person. But yeah, I mean, I gotta agree. He was kind of a punching bag. I mean, he got his ass kicked all the time. I mean, I liked the kind of tortured, kind of thing. That aspect of Ben Grimm, and hiding under the trench coat and hat, and that whole part to him. But yeah, I mean, as a superhero, he got beat up a lot.
I am excited about the new Fantastic Four movie, though. It looks good.
I hope it's good. They need to get some wins here, man. They got to come out with some good ones, because it's a little sad right now.
So Stevie's saying here he has a story where he was a young boy and his brother gets killed in a gang fight.
Yep.
Yancey Street Gang. He went in swinging, even though he was little then, and the cops show up and he gets arrested. So I think the Thing's character, it goes beyond like his power ability and his just ability in general. It's his character. He's the kind of character that's going to jump in there and stand up for the little guy. He sees something wrong being done, he's going to jump right in, right? And he's going to support the people that he cares about. So I think that's really his superpower, is that he just has that unwavering, I'm going to keep giving it the best I can type of thing, even though he gets his ass handed to him. So interesting character.
Actually, I have this right next to me. I'm sending this off for Clean and Press.
Yeah.
Figure I'd show it since we're talking about it. This is kind of what always seemed to happen back then.
Yeah.
And I love the Mortal Hulk cover where they're both in the cafe together.
Yeah, that's a cool cover. Yeah. Great cover.
So the Thing is like a defensive lineman for the Fantastic Four. So yeah, he takes all the hits so they can do the real work, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the Thing is on par with like Rhino and Juggernaut.
Yeah, and it's that when he's by himself, it's like you have to have those characters for him to battle, right? He has to have that same power level. Yeah, otherwise, it's just kind of gets boring. So, all right. So I think that about does it for the Thing, right? I think we've pretty much hit on him. He's not a very deep character, so he's an interesting character. He's very, I think everybody will recognize him just the way Marvel pumped him into the media, So, okay, this kind of fits with the Thing being kind of a punching bag. So the second character we have is Aquabro. Now, this is my dude, Aquaman.
I was like, Aquabro, what the hell? Where's this?
I can't help it. I always call him Aquabro.
The buff Aquaman?
The buff Aquaman, yeah.
Nice.
Where is he? He's behind me.
With the mullet?
Ugh.
Well, I think the Thing was sink like a rock, so I'm going for Aquabro, I guess. In the fight.
There we go. Aquabro.
Is this on land or in the ocean?
So now this would be curious. Yeah. Well, let's talk about Aquaman. First appearance. Does anybody know his first appearance, Aquaman? He's an old character, so he's been around for a while.
Oh my gosh.
Adam's it's on the tip of your tongue. I can see
it. It's total brain fart.
All right, so his first was More Fun Comics.
Yes.
1941. And it was More Fun Comics number 73. So it was one of those comics where they had a bunch of stories in it. They were shorter than normal. But Aquaman, he is, I don't know why he's one of my favorite characters. I think I determined that when I was a young kid and I had the blonde hair, I'm watching Super Friends. Aquaman was on Super Friends. I'm like, hey, there's a superhero that has the same color hair as me. So I think I just gravitated to that, and the fact that I liked swimming. He's swimming. I thought his superpowers were kind of corny, the whole talking to fish and stuff, which is what he gets made fun of a lot. He does his little sonar and calls the sea friends in to come help him.
You both love seahorses.
Yeah, and seahorse. But he does have, some powers. He has strength. I can't remember. Does he fly? I can't even remember if he flies.
He doesn't have the winged feet like Namor does.
Yeah,
So
I don't think he does.
he could get launched probably from a seahorse pretty well.
I don't think he's too powerful on land.
No, I mean he has his trident, so he's. I mean,
Yeah, they
Jason
can hurt the
Momoa
thing,
kind
though.
of toughened him up when he played him in the movies, and I know in the recent series they powered him up. They did some power swapping where he can control water now. But overall, the general belief behind Aquaman is that he is a big dork. I that makes me feel bad because I do like Aquaman still. I get all his comics and I read them. Yeah, and sometimes they do make him the joke in like the Justice League comics. It's like, okay, what are you here for? We're on land.
Well, they could have put him on like a great white or something a little bit more than instead of a seahorse. You know, a great white. Yeah, a big squid, something cool.
A shark would be cool.
Yeah.
I think so too. Yeah.
I think this is a lopsided fight. Either way, if it's on land, that trident ain't going to hurt the rock of the thing. If it's in the water, thing's going to sink. So this is a really lopsided fight either way.
Yeah, I agree. It's one way or the other. If it's in water, thing doesn't win that fight, and if it's on land, I don't see what Aquaman does to the thing.
Yeah, you can't do anything to him.
Yeah.
So they're both airborne. They're
There
fighting
we go.
in space. Like what happens?
It's a draw. They both fall to their deaths.
4 foot pool.
So yeah. So I think if we're at that point, okay, we talk about Aquaman. We know Aquaman's power set. I mean, he does have strength and stuff like that. So if we pit them together, it depends, like you said, Dope. Land versus sea. On sea, Aquaman is going to be at the disadvantage. I mean, granted, he does fight a lot on land. He has his trident, he has his strength, but I think he's stronger in the water. He's kind of like Namor in that way. He gets strength from the water. And he has backup in the water too. Like you said, Dope, he's going to sink like a stone because basically is a stone. I don't even know if the thing could breathe underwater. I mean, does he need air to even breathe? I mean,
Pretty sure he does. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah,
So,
he technically has all the lungs and all that kind of stuff in there somewhere. Yeah.
all rock.
Yeah.
They
He
fight
still
in
needs air,
waist
though.
deep water in a wading pool, like where
They're in the kiddie pool section.
where it's like
On a
waist
cruise
deep,
ship.
where Aquaman can still swim. I'm just making something up to make it.
Aquaman would win on a cruise ship because he can control the waves.
Right. and even the waves inside the pool on the ship.
But they'd all get destroyed by norovirus on a cruise.
Thank you, Matt. See, Matt agrees with me. Aquaman doesn't suck. I find Aquaman interesting too. Let's see, Stevie saying Dr. Doolittle of the Sea. Whoops, I clicked on the wrong one. So yeah, he just does that woo, 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 and all the fish come in and help him. I mean, if you haven't seen the old cartoon, holy cow, it's with him and Aqualad on their seahorses. It's interesting. Let's see. Oh, K Munin has to chime in here. Doesn't suck as much as Ferret or Rebel. So Matt's saying Aquaman has strength based on the strength needed to live on the ocean bottom. He can swim real fast and he talks to fishes. So that's a summary. Yeah. The battle solely depends on where they fight. And that's what we've kind of mentioned, that sea, land, air, like Adam brought up, air. It really depends who's going to have the advantage in that environment. If they're both airborne, they both go splat. No big loss either way. Wow. Well, I think the thing would survive the splat, though, right?
Yeah,
He's a rock.
thing would survive.
So he'd probably land on Aquaman, and that wouldn't be good. Yeah, kiddie pool. It's Matt says Thing can hold his breath for like 10 minutes. Let's see. What about in space? Somebody said, how about in space? Stevie D saying in space. Well, then again, we come to both of them can't breathe there. So, oh, there we go. Yeah. Don't forget Tusky the Walrus, dope. That's his little walrus sidekick. The 60s, no big law. Okay. So Altman S. Vaughn's coming in. Hey guy, what's going on? So yeah, I'd like to side with Aquaman, but I don't know. It does depend on the environment. I think in the water, Aquaman will have the advantage because he'll have the strength in the sea. And I mean, he's a rock that's going to sink. He ain't gonna be able to swim, right? So he's just going to be walking. He's going to be walking on the bottom of the ocean floor. So he'll probably get manhandled a little bit. Aquaman will call up a big squid to flip him around or something. But on land, always on land, the big guys always. I think it's a matter of if Thing can get his hands on Aquaman, because he's pretty, fast and can kind of stay away from him. He just needs to grab him once and then knock him out, type of thing. So I think overall, based on power level, what do you guys think of that? Just in general, like say they were put in the danger room. I'm referencing my X-Men here, where it was a closed environment. I mean, you think Thing would knock him through the wall?
Thing would win in a Thunderdome. Yeah.
There we go.
Easily, I think he'd get a hold of him and he'd
and it's almost, I think the way we have to look at it is, like you said, Thunderdome. 2 men enter, 1 man leave. Yeah, and it's just a matter of time. The Thing will get to him and just knock him out. Sad as that makes me feel, I think I have to go with the Thing taking this matchup.
All the way Aquaman can win.
Here's my summary. It's when he's fighting Namor. But he says next time Aquaman turns up, I swear it's going to be in a tuna casserole.
The only way I think Aquaman's got a chance is to stab him in the eyes with that Triton.
Get him in the ever-loving blue-eyed thing.
Yep. Yeah, I think if he can get Thing in a disadvantage, like if they were in water, but other straight dome fight, yeah, I think the Thing is going to take him. It's just a matter of him catching him, regardless of the strength of Aquaman and his abilities. So I think this one's a pretty, like you guys said, straight and unanimous fight. Aquaman is going to lose on this one. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting matchup. When I drew it out, I was like, oh, interesting. We got a heavyweight and a kind of power limited. It's like his power is better in the sea than on land. That's how they've always written him in the past. So, but he can hold his own, type of thing. So I was curious to see what you guys thought about that fight. So, all right, well,
I'm waiting on the 4-part miniseries Aquaman in Nebraska.
Kiddie pool. I think the kiddie pool will be coming into play there.
He's a normal man. Let's see what he can do.
All right, so that is our quick and easy icon. Quick and easy, and that's good because I got another game for you guys. So I hope you guys like these games. I mean, that one was a little one-sided. I may have to tweak my iconic characters in there to get some better matchups. I mean, I always like those matchups because that's like a geek kids, fantasy, right? It's pitting their favorite superheroes against each other. So sometimes they're one-sided though.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved Matt Likes Comics comment. The Thing smokes. Aquaman just has to wait for his lung cancer to kick in.
Oh my God, that'd be a long victory.
That's a long
there,
fight.
Right? Yeah, that's the long game. What's Stevie saying here? He has a modern book, a few issues called Clobber in Time. Him and the Hulk are friendly, so they're buddies in that. I think I remember that series. All right, yeah. So the other game we're going to play, and I don't have the bumpers for it, and it's something new that I want to do with you guys. And a lot of these games, I come up with these ideas to generate conversation. How do we talk about more than comics that just, oh, that's my favorite character. Oh, I like that story because of da-da-da-da. So what we're going to do here, guys, is we're going to play a game that I am calling this or that, side quest this or that. Now, we've seen posts where they do this or that, and you pick your favorite book. And I kind of want to talk about why are you going to pick that book? What's your reason for picking one book out of these two in comparison? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to present you. I have 10 books here. I'm going to present 5 pairs. And we're going to say, basically what is our one pick of these two. So
this would be like as a keeper in our collection kind of a thing.
Like if you had a choice of these two books, which one would you want to keep in your collection? Which one would you want to read? Which one's your favorite? That type of thing.
Okay.
What one book would you pick over the other, and then kind of basically why? Was it a character? Was it a story? That type of thing.
Sure.
All right. So the first set I am going to show you guys, I'm going to make myself big so you guys can see it nice and big. Not solo. We want this. There we go. All right. First set. So we got this Crisis Unlimited, and this is number 7. It's a big key book where Supergirl dies. And some of these books I'm going to show you, they're kind of generally that time period too. So, because I know some of these characters change quite a bit depending on what decade the book is actually from. So, Crisis Unlimited or Secret Wars number 8, which we have the origin of the black suit. So these are 2 big books. I tried to kind of get these where they're similar in standings, so they're not so one-sided. I know some people may like these both, so it's a hard choice, right, to pick just one. Some of you may be just a DC guy, and you're like, yeah, I don't need that Marvel stuff. So I don't know. What do you guys think? What's your pick here? You know what? I want to remove something too because I can't see Adam.
Sorry.
Let's just go one at a time.
Yeah, go ahead. If you want to jump in, go ahead and just jump in.
I think this is a tough one for me because the story for Crisis is way better than that first Secret War story, I think. But like as far as like an iconic issue, I mean the black suit, I mean in Secret Wars, I mean that's a this is a thing, because like you have to have a real frank discussion here. Like, is it the story that you care about, or is it going to be the value over time? Yeah. And I think Secret Wars 8 is always going to hold up from a value perspective better. But story, the Crisis story is way better.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Dope.
Yeah, I'd be similar there. I'm more of a Marvel guy than a DC guy for that part too. I have both of those, but I think because of the black suit and Venom and leading into something that really lasted, up to modern times with everything, I'd probably lean up a little bit more with Secret Wars 8. For Crisis, I'd be a little more tempted with the Flash. The Flash death one. Yeah.
Like you said, I sometimes think this is a hard pick because of you like the character over the other one. Dope, you got an opinion on this?
Yeah, I'm a reader and don't really care about value, so I think I'd rather read Crisis because Secret Wars you need the other 8 to know what's going on, I feel like. And I feel like the Crisis story I feel like you could see the death of Supergirl or Superwoman there or Supergirl, whoever it is, and I think that'd be better.
Yeah, it'd be a one-off and you'd be fine.
Yeah, you'd be better. You could just read that one issue and be fine. I've never read it. I think you'd be fine with it.
This was a very tough choice for me because this one was kind of a very early introduction for me to the Marvel Universe. I remember 1984, I think that's when this came out, 84, going to the comic store once a month to get this series. So this series meant a lot to me just in the broader range of getting introduced to Marvel Universe. I remember hearing about this, but didn't really seek it out until I was an adult. I wasn't a DC guy as a kid, so this one means more to me than this. Granted, I do recognize how big of a story this is, and this particular issue to me it's a very big issue. So this was a tough one for me too. I probably would go with the Spider-Man one just because of what it means to me personally. Story-wise, it's probably not as good as this, but I'm still going to go with this one just because of the the fun feelies I have from the past. So,
I kind of hedged. I didn't actually give an opinion, so I really need to say, and I think I got to think of the opposite of what Dope said on this one. I've read Crisis already, and I know the story. I mean, it's on movie form, it's on electronic, but the value of number 8 over time, it would, for my own collection. If I'm talking about one I'm keeping, then I would keep that because I already know the story. So I'd be better off just keeping that one in a drawer for another 20 years.
Yeah. All right. Well, I like that. We kind of got answers all over the board, and that's kind of what I wanted to do with this or that, is to generate that kind of conversation. All right. So I have our next.
To it, man. Don't let me like waffle and like say no. I'm not going to pick.
I'll poke you. I'm like, I need an answer. All right. So our next set here. This one I think might be a little bit easier for some people. I always see these two characters as very similar. They're kind of street level vigilantes. Okay. So the first one we have here is we got Moon Knight. I picked this particular cover just because I thought it was an awesome cover. But this era of Moon Knight, this is early 80s, and this cover just blew me away. And then, of course,
it's a Sienkiewicz cover.
Yeah, Sienkiewicz.
Yeah, he did a lot of the covers for this series. But next up, I couldn't find my regular series, so I just grabbed the big book. So I got this big old chunky thing. Batman the Dark Knight. So not just Batman, but Dark Knight Batman is kind of what I'm going for here. So we got Moon Knight, who's kind of that gritty superhero, all in white, which I thought was ridiculous. He's fighting crime at night in a white suit. I see you, Moon Knight. And then you got Batman, who's the Dark Knight. What do you think of these two characters? Like I said, they're both kind of street level vigilantes. They don't mess around. When they're going to put somebody down, they put them down, so they'll think twice again about doing whatever crime they're doing. Anybody jump in?
Well, I would take Batman. I've tried to read Moon Knight numerous times, and the multiple personalities and stuff, I really don't relate. I can't get into it that much, but I love the covers, but I would go with Batman for the read.
Yeah, Dark Knight for me. Dark Knight's one of my favorite stories. It's my favorite Frank Miller thing that he ever did. And I thought it was groundbreaking. I remember being a kid reading it, and it blew me away. I'd never seen anything like that, where it's like this weird story that might happen someday, and Batman's so fallible. He's got a heart condition and all. It's one of my favorite stories. Dark Knight for me, easily.
Okay. This one I might have made too easy.
No, for me, I'm going to be the dissenter. I'm going Moon Knight.
All right.
I've always loved Moon Knight. I made a list and I collected every single thing from Moon Knight up to like current day. So
I have kind of a similar list. I'm still trying to find a lot of his late 80s, 90s stuff. They're just hard to find.
Yeah. But well, I always think about, like, when I was a kid, it was hard to justify, because I didn't get Dark Knight right when it came off the shelf. It was really hard for me to justify to spend like $40 or whatever on a first printing of that, when that book just went crazy from the get-go. And Moon Knight I couldn't even find on shelves because it was kind of only released at comic retailers, for some of those issues. So, but I've always just really liked the character of Moon Knight. I know Batman and Moon Knight are very similar. And, I remember, talking to Neil Adams about how Moon Knight pissed him off, because also Bill Sienkiewicz kind of stole. Early on, he was drawing a lot like Neil Adams when he was doing like Hulk magazine and stuff like that for Moon Knight. But anyway, he they're both. Batman is definitely the better character. That's definitely the better read. But when I'm thinking about what I would get rid of in my collection first, it would be Dark Knight Returns, because I've read it and I know it. Yeah, just for my collection. Yeah.
So I'm seeing kind of in the chat everybody going both ways, which is interesting. I figured this one was going to be, for you guys, I thought it was going to be very one-sided. I've always liked Batman Dark Knight because it blew my mind when they did this dark, gritty, version of him. It's kind of what started that gritty Batman that we still have today. But Moon Knight stands out to me as one of those characters that I always found him fascinating. I was always interested in Egyptian mythology, and his character kind of weaving that into his backstory and his origin and all that stuff, I think was very interesting to me. I thought it was cool. His weapons were kind of designed after like Egyptian weapons and all. So I just like that whole, era of the character himself. So I think I'm going to go Moon Knight on this one because I'm not really a Batman guy. I can give credit to this because of what it is and what it means to Batman in general, but not being a Batman guy, I'm going to probably pick Moon Knight to read over Batman just because I like the multiple personalities. I think it's an interesting quirk for a character to have that they've never done in comics. He was one of the first ones to have that disorder where you have multiple personalities. And to me, it's just a fascinating disability for somebody to have. And then to have a hero like dealing with that too. It's interesting to me. All right. We got one more comment here. Moon Knight books have been harder to find. Yeah. And that's the downside of that. He's not a super popular character by any means. Is he nowhere near the popularity of Batman, but I always saw them as being very similar in their fighting styles and stuff like that. All right. So that was that round. So I think we were split on that, but I'll have to go back and look at the chat. So it's one of those things that
it looks split too. It really looks like there's a lot of different opinions on this.
Yeah,
and it's the master race. So the master race one wasn't as good as the first one.
And I think that's the thing I want to generate. Is like everybody has their own opinion why they like different characters, and it's neat to get everybody's 2 cents out of these of why they like this character over another one. All right, so next set, this is the third set. We're keeping in style with Batman. It's a little bit different Batman here. I love this cover from Detective Comics. But okay, this one's going to be a hard one for the DC guys. So we got this Batman versus Man of Steel, Superman. Sorry, Matt.
For me, I'm going full on with the Detective.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I do remember when Man of Steel came out and, picking that up and it's a -- 1 and, that's exciting.
First variant cover ever.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But yeah, the Detective, the year 2, year 1 was so great. And year 2, a lot of people just kind of brush it off. But, I thought, I'm more of a Batman fan, so I would lean that way.
Okay.
I agree. I love year 1. I love year 2 as well. I know some people sleep on year 2, but that was another from my youth, another great story, a Batman story. And and just for characters, I like Batman. As I said, I always kind of gravitate toward the anti-hero kind of violent, right on the edge of good guy kind of thing. So yeah, Batman's my guy.
Batman's your guy.
Batman 100%. Superman's too perfect. I like street level characters, so I would definitely go Batman.
Okay. I know a lot of people like this series particularly because John Byrne did it. He has his fans that they'll get his stuff regardless of what hero or character it is. And I mean, this is 80s Superman. I don't think he was really doing a whole lot in the 80s, whereas Batman was doing a lot in the 80s. I mean, his character changed a lot. Superman, his character is not so much about what he does, but it's about what he represents. He represents an ideal hope, for being a better person, a better race. And I think as an individual, he's kind of not as interesting as Batman, right? I mean, Batman has his flaws, he has his problems, whereas, Superman, Clark has issues, but I don't think they're as dark. I think people can relate more to those dark problems.
I'd read a miniseries of Superman if he was like an alcoholic or something.
Which, I think, was it the second movie? They did that, where he became an alcoholic in the second movie because he wanted to become, Was the second one or third one? I don't know.
Or a temper problem. He needs something. He's just too perfect. So when he's faster than Flash and stronger than Hulk.
I see Derek saying Batman cover doesn't seem like something Batman would be, so I have to go with the stereotypical iconic Superman cover. Yeah.
He started with a gun. Early tech issues, Batman had a gun.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a side holster, wasn't it?
Yeah, he shot people. I mean, in the early tech, I mean, who has any of those issues? But yeah, I mean, he started with a gun. He was not against killing when he first started.
Yeah, which is that's what I was wanting in Absolute Batman. I was wanting him to kill people. But they made the same as that guy. So
right. Yeah, I jumped off the Absolute Batman after like issue 2. I was like, I can't anymore.
I made it to 1.
Oh.
So I'm just going through some of the John Byrne worked on that book as a plus. Yeah, see, that's what I figured. Superman's whole planet blew up. What do you mean people can't relate?
That's great, Derek.
Okay. Superman could just pick up Batman, fly 1,000 feet in the air, and drop him. Yeah, I mean, Superman would win, but would Clark do that? I don't think so.
Are we going to do the thing? But what about with prep time? Are we gonna do the internet thing?
All right, so I think everybody's pretty much going with Batman on that one. I saw a couple Supermans, but that's just interesting. People just gravitate towards that dark nature. And I know a lot of people say they like Batman because he is just human. He doesn't have powers. He doesn't have super strength or flight. He's just his superpower is his intelligence and just being the world's greatest detective that they say he is. So
and super rich as well.
And he's super rich, yeah.
I like the street level part, and he's just in one city. He ain't worried about what's going on in Russia or Tokyo or anything else. He's just worried about Gotham.
Yep, his one little city. All right, so next set. Let's see. That was 3 sets, right? So we got a couple more here. So here is the next set. So we're sticking with Superman. So here's the other cover of that number 1. So you get to really notice the John Byrne art there. But we're going with 2 figureheads of the 2 big companies. We have Superman, Spider-Man. What would be your pick if somebody said, here's these 2 books, you can only read one, or you can only put one in your collection? I think iconically, this is kind of a turning point for Spider-Man. So I'm going to come straight out and say it. I think Spider-Man right here. What do you guys think?
I'm going street level. I'm going Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I mean, I know, that issue. The McFarlane takes some heat because he wrote it. And it wasn't so, but still, I mean, McFarlane art, and you see Todd by Todd. I'm all about McFarlane Spider-Man. Okay. So yeah, it's gonna be Spider-Man to me.
Yeah, I would go with Spider-Man as well. And I mean, if you were to look at 2 covers, I mean, how many times has that Spider-Man been homaged?
Oh yeah.
So it's probably one of the most homage covers. Even though I like the Byrne Superman, I'd go Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about. McFarlane versus Byrne. I mean, some people would choose the art over the other. In this case, some people would pick just a character because they find them more interesting. Spider-Man definitely does have problems. We're talking about how Superman's a little bit too perfect. Spidey has issues. He always has issues. That's the core of his character is he has issues
over and over again. Everybody dies.
And if you're going just artwork, I love what McFarlane did with the webbing. I think he's the first one that did like the spaghetti webbing kind of. Yeah. And then he gave Spider-Man them giant eyes. So with a, so
yeah, hidden spiders on the cover, like where you got to find the hidden spiders on the cover too. That's the other one we did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna grab the one of the metallic ones, the silver ones and stuff like that, but I'm like, you wouldn't see all the webbing and the spiders and stuff like that in there, so that's why I went with that one. Let's see, a lot of people are. I think this is almost. Let's see. Well, I read there's Matt saying Superman. He likes this John Byrne Man of Steel Superman, but see, and that's another thing is like I said before, DC versus Marvel guys. what do you prefer? He may not like Spider-Man because it's Marvel, and that's okay. Everybody has their own what they gravitate towards. Stevie's saying he's torn. He has both books, so he doesn't know. Stevie, which one would you read first? I guess look at that way. Spidey's more iconic. He's going with that. And then
broke ass superhero.
Oh yeah, he's always broke. He never has money. He's a little bit of Bruce's checkbook, right?
Peter Parker's a comic collector. He just, he runs out of money.
Yeah, nostalgia is a big factor here. So yeah, that's another thing. Being a kid, you may remember this one as a kid more than this one. So that probably would determine that pick. So pretty much all Spider-Man on that one. That was interesting. Okay, so now we're really getting into some fun ones, you guys. Oh man, I got a price tag on this one I was going to take off. So you guys liking this? You liking the
that's fun.
That?
Yeah, I like this a lot.
All right, I'll have to come up with some more matchups for next time. All right, so we're going off the rails. So we got Ultraverse Prime number 1. Adam, I thought of these ones for you, man. So look at the size of that guy. He's got muscles on muscles.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys don't know, I think this came with a trading card too. I don't think this has a trading card.
Yeah, I think it did. Yeah.
I paid $1 for this, so this was $1 dive. So we got Prime versus, I know a lot of people are gonna which way we're going, but I'm curious. We got the Ferret.
Okay.
Hey, Muted just left.
We got Ultraverse versus Malibu in a battle of 90s trash. I'm gonna say it, 90s trash. If you had to read one, this was your choice, sitting in the waiting room to go get your oil checked by the doctor, which one would you read while you're waiting for that?
Well, the Ferret has ninjas and a kingpin guy, so I'm going to go with that. I can't tell what the Prime's about. It really don't show you much there.
No, he's just like a muscle-bound guy, right?
Yeah.
Ferret all day for me. I mean, they're both 90s, but Ferret is like so overwhelmingly 90s. Like even if the story's not good, I know it's going to make me laugh. It's Ferret.
Is that Incredible Hulk?
That hair along the Ferret.
Yeah, I mean, I got to go the Ferret too, and it's actually not that bad of a read, I will say.
No, and it was. I have a couple of issues. I'm still trying to find all of them. I think I might have to do what Matt did and just go on my comic shop, and just buy them all because I see them there. I keep seeing the same 4, basically.
Yeah, well, just this week I was someplace and picked up 2 more Ferret issue number 1s just to have, because it's got to go in a giveaway. We got to spread the love.
So Uncanny Derek is saying he loves the Ferret and all that stuff, but he says he feels Prime is a cooler, cheesier cover. Kind of has Ed McGuinness vibes, which he likes. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, in terms of like the art might be, I mean, it's roided up, but I mean, Prime it does grab you, a little bit off the shelf.
And I didn't even notice like the Incredible Hulk guy there on the bottom of the Ferret cover.
Right.
Oh yeah, that sells you. Yeah.
So we have lots of Ferret. Knockoff Kingpin would have me 2 and 3. Okay, and Ferret, Golden Age. Yeah, that's the interesting thing about the Ferret. His character was totally different back then. He was actually in that book of Regrettable Superheroes. He looks nothing like he does when they brought him back. Stevie says the Ferret staying power is going through a renaissance because of all of us. I mean, we find the ridiculousness of it entertaining. Now, Dope, you think this guy would be able to take your boy Hulk? Look at him.
Now the Hulk can lift 70 tons. I don't know if he can lift 70 tons, but he's pretty muscled up.
Yeah,
I'd like to see it.
I think he might like pop a vein or something trying to pick up a coffee cup or something.
Yeah, it's like whose pants would rip first.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing he's got a cape to hide that rip, right?
Yeah.
right.
Hulk's pants versus versus his outfit. You know, that's the
Versus-
next battle matchup.
versus Prime's carotid artery.
I think I only saw one vote for Prime on that one. Most of that was Ferret. I figured it would go that way. There's a lot of Ferret love, so I almost was thinking about maybe I should have pitted him against Nightman or whatever it was that Ultraverse did,
Ferret against the Badger.
or the Badger. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, so this is our last set, you guys. More independence. And I already know where this is a tough one too, because these are both pretty nostalgia for me. So this was my Turtles back in the day, adolescent radioactive black belt hamsters. I love this art style. If you guys see this and you don't have it, pick it up. I usually see them in dollar bins and stuff. The art is very different for that time period. I mean, it's classic 80s black and white, but it's very different. So we got this animal-pomorphic martial artist versus
Do you have preteen?
Hamster Vice.
I
So I
thought
got
you
two
would go Samurai
hamsters
Penguins.
battling here. So this one was by Blackthorn Publishing. They did I debated about throwing up the 3D one because I got the 3D version of this too. But yeah, so we have, this was a spoof on, they called it Hamster Vice. It had nothing to do with like Miami Vice. They were just like a kind of hit squad, adventure squad. Kind of reminded me of Brigade a little bit from like, the 90s, but both hamsters, both independents, both black and, I think this was black and white. I'm blanking right now. Once again, what are you going to gravitate towards? Are you going to gravitate towards this one that's totally a spoof of Turtles, or this one that's just kind of weird hamsters?
I'm going for the hamsters. Though, if you had, I was hoping that you were going to bring out like preteen dirty jean jujitsu gerbils.
I need to get that one. That's on the list.
That would have made it a very hard choice.
I have a kangaroos one, but I don't have.
Oh yeah,
that
there
one.
is a kangaroo one too. Yeah, Kung Fu kangaroos.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
There's a Samurai Penguin too.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, I would pick. I remember buying like ordering adolescent radioactive black belt hamsters when it came out, just because it was like, I think that was the first spoof.
Yeah,
that
it was the
done
first one.
after, because I was getting some of the very early TMNT books, and I was like, oh, this is fun. This is cool.
I'd go with Black Belt Hamsters because I like the artwork better on the cover. I was hoping that the second book you picked was going to be Boris the Bear, and
I had it in the pile. I looked at it.
That would be mine. Like, I love when Boris the Bear kills all the anthropomorphic animals and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I collected that as a teenager, but yeah, I'll say the Black Belt Hamsters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd rather read the Black Belt Hamsters also.
Yeah, it does have. I like the art a lot more. I mean, the art for Hamster Vice is pretty much that. I mean, it's okay. It's very anime style almost. Whereas this one is very original. It's almost like got that cross hatching. Now, granted, this is colorized, but it's all black and white inside. So it definitely has that stylized look to it. Very unique. I would pick the Black Belt Hamsters over this too, just because, like Chanko said, the art is more appealing to me. This is one of those simple things that, especially like independents, a lot of independents, you don't know who the character is, right? So if the art is unique and interesting, it's going to draw you into it. So I think that makes a big play on this. Let's see. So we got Hamster Vice, Ren and Stimpy vibes. Oh, that's different. Okay, yeah. I see a lot of Black Belt Hamsters, though. Never heard of either, but K Munin is going with Hamster Vice. So this is kind of split a little bit. Black Belt, Stevie, Hamster Vice. See, we're going back and forth here. I mean, us as on the panel, we're all going with Black Belt Hamsters, but the chat's a little bit split, which is cool. I like hearing that. Matt likes comics that he laughs so much reading Black Belt Hamsters. Yeah, and that's one of those. It's a series. It's like 9 issues. I think both of these were about the same amount of issues, and you never can find those late ones. I had a lot to pick from for those ones. I did have Boris on the plate there. I had the kangaroo one because I figured the martial arts thing kind of went together. But then I saw the hamsters. I'm like, I'm going to pit 2 hamsters against each other and see what comes out. So, but all right. Well, there was my 2 games. You guys watching this in a rewind, let us know what you think of these games. We had Icons, which is kind of my regular game that I play. But this was a new one. This was the one that I'm calling This or That, where I'm just pitting 2 comic books. You have a choice. You're in the waiting room. You got to read one. Which one are you going to read? Or put in your collection type of thing. So I'm glad you guys like that. I like the feedback that we got. A lot of interaction with the chat, which is kind of some of what was behind this. I wanted to kind of just generate some chitty chat about the books that we nerd out over. So if I had my bumper working, I'd play it right here, but maybe next time. But that's it. So all right. Thank you guys. What'd you think of that? The first time. You guys were all guinea pigs.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, it was fun.
So I'll have to start a list. I have notebooks that I start with ideas like these, and I'll have to start a new list of ones that I can pit off against each other. And most of the time, like the Superman and Batman, those are iconic characters, so they're kind of easy to pit off of each other. So we'll see what I come up with. Maybe I'll do some horror stuff next time. I have some. I don't have anywhere near the collection that the 2 of you guys at the bottom have, but I do have some interesting horrors that I can maybe pit against each other. But all right, so that was the fun games. How about we get into showing some books, because that's what a lot of the live Sunday show-off show is about. It's about showing off books that we got in the last month. So we're covering March. Now, I usually do like new Wednesday releases. But because we did a second game, I'm going to cut that. I'm just going to go for my quested books that I found. And these are all things that we either found that we want to show off because they're really cool. We love showing them off. We think everybody needs to know about them. Or we just haven't had a chance to. I mean, some of these books I literally got 2 days ago. So I haven't had a chance to show them off. So it's a perfect opportunity to show them. But I'm going to let one of you guys go first. So who is ready and wants to show off some awesome books?
I can show off a couple things real quick.
All right, dope.
All right. I had to go dig my stuff back out since it was the last second. I'd already filed everything away. But one thing I got this week or this month, I've been trying to finish my Tales from the Crypt run. There's 26 copies, and I got this one.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's a great cover.
Yeah, I'm trying to find them all beat up and chewed up like a rat. So I want them to look like they came from a haunted house or something. Then I found this one.
How many are you down to needing now?
I think I've got probably half, so maybe about 12 more.
Okay, that's not too bad.
And then I think about, I collect a lot of Hulk stuff. And really in today's time, there's nobody that I think's a real big legend besides like Tom. You think Todd Farland. And I think Alex Ross. And I saw this, so I picked up this autographed Alex Ross.
Oh, the leader.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's great.
I love all the timeless ones, and found this one. This is my favorite of all the timeless ones. So
That's
I
cool.
picked up the leader. And just to keep it quick, I'm going to show you my 3 favorite reads of the month because I'm a reader.
Okay.
If you ain't reading Let This One Be the Devil by James
I have not
Whiting.
seen that in my store at all.
Oh, that's great.
It
Yeah,
is
that was a great
amazing.
read.
It's about the
I
Jersey
bought that.
Devil. It's supposed to be a true story.
I bought that because you recommended it, Dope. I haven't read it, but I got it.
It is amazing. Also, Out of Alcatraz.
Another one
This
I never
came out.
seen.
This one's amazing. This one is Oni's Press.
Okay.
Really good. It's if you get tired of reading like superhero stuff and you want to read something that's really historical, it's really good. And then of course my favorite thing I'm reading here lately is Bug Wars. So it's
Did you hear me shout you out on my channel about Bug Wars?
I don't know. I watched your show. I don't know if I do or not. But I know every time people talk about Bug Wars, they talk about me.
Multiple times because I love it. And I didn't think I was gonna love it.
That's how
I got it
was.
on your recommendation. And I was just talking to Adam about this last night. I love that series. I don't know what I thought it was going to be, but it's way, way better than I thought it was going to be.
It reminds me of the old EC stories, like the science fiction
does.
stories.
Yes. I don't want
Honey,
to
I
really
Shrunk the Kids meets Conan. So,
Yep.
you
Where
know,
they find the dad in the attic.
yeah, it's got horror to it. It's neat. So,
and I thought number 2 was actually even a little bit better than number 1. It just kind of built on it. Yeah,
yeah,
great.
part 2 had the Mad Max and the Thunderdome type thing going on again. So.
Yeah,
I haven't read part 2 yet. I should be arriving here tomorrow, I think.
Well, let me know what you think about
I like it so far.
it. There you go. That's all I got.
All right. Yeah, a lot of people are saying Bug Wars is fantastic, and yeah, I can second that. You know, it surprised me. I didn't know. Dope. I bought books that you're like all excited for, and I'm like, what the hell did he make me do? But that one, I mean, I read the little back page, you know, where author was talking about the idea behind the book, and I think that's what really drew me in even more, is hearing how it was like a passion project for him. It's a project that he's had in his mind since he was a kid. And I think that's really interesting, cool to see that he finally got it out there.
Well, Jason Aaron wrote Conan for a long time, and he even brought over the map. So he's got the map in there like he did in Conan. It's got the map. So, yeah. So it's pretty neat.
Everybody's saying stay safe, Rich. Rich's sirens are going out, and I know Nate was talking about strong storms in his area too. So I think there's some wicked weather going around in the, you know, for some people out there. So just stay safe, guys.
And for the two of y'all don't know, me and Eric, we've talked about it before. Whenever I show my new comic book day on Wednesday, wait a week before you buy them, because I haven't read them yet, and I might hate them. Half of them I usually hate. I buy just about every number 1 comic, and I'm excited to get them, but at least wait till I read them before you go out and buy it.
Well, it's like we're both excited about Universal Monsters and The Mummy, and I haven't read it yet, and I watched your review, and I was a little like, oh, I'm going to get spoilers, but I can't help it. And I was just like, damn it, I didn't read it yet, and Dope hated it. Maybe I'll like it. I doubt it, but
it's a love story. It's terrible.
I picked it up, but I haven't read it yet. But I've been getting all the Universal Monsters.
I have too.
I got bored of the last one. I mean, I liked Frankenstein, but I didn't like what they were doing with it. Creature was good. Dracula, I can't find anywhere, so I only have like 1 issue of it.
I love the Dracula and I love the Frankenstein one, but this one's terrible.
They just need to do a monster. Keep it monster. It's a monster.
Yeah.
So hopefully, if they ever do werewolf, which they got to, right?
I think werewolf is next. Yeah.
Just keep it straight up monster. Don't tell a stupid side story.
Yeah, it's like they're using that to get their other story over, and they're just putting a little monster in here every once in a while, and I hate it.
That's cool, Chris. Yeah, Dope like the Mummy. I don't think so. But here we go. In Dope we trust. That you need a shirt with that, Dope. In Dope we trust.
Yeah.
All right. Who wants to go next?
I can if you want. I was just saying I went to I've got a small glass case at the local antique shop where I sell like the slab books and toys and things like that, and a new comic seller just moved in and he had tons of boxes. I was just digging through like dollar bin stuff, so I have some like awful horrible stuff.
We love awful,
and I think you guys will like it. The Revengers First Casualty.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I recognize that publisher, and some of the stuff I see by them, I'm like,
Yeah, continuity. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one I recognized as a kid. I never had it, but Fat Ninja.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Had to be husky or plump now. You can't say fat.
Right. And this is a little bit I don't like maybe in the 80s this was cool, but the Oriental Heroes.
Yeah.
Wow. I do remember that one too.
And they had more.
Oh my gosh.
Bruce Lee days.
And that was issue number 19, so that went on for a while, I think.
Well, you remember in the 80s, like that whole martial arts it was huge. I remember watching American Ninja, and I thought that was the coolest movie ever.
Well, he was a white ninja. Remember trying to hide out in the woods in a white ninja outfit.
Yeah.
And some 90s trash. Gate Crasher.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look at that. That looks like a Red Sonja ripoff almost.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's less than 5% body fat.
Yeah, some terrible or this. It's like I don't know if they misspelled it because they can't spell, or if it's supposed to be terrorists.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's like makes you wonder, did they do it on
Oh, that looks great.
purpose?
Yeah, I hope it's on purpose, and there's like some
Is she breathing
themes to
fire?
this, but
So just in time, Nate. He's bringing the weird.
Oh man.
Yeah, then this I'm convinced this is Kirby, but Captain Victory and the Galactic Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Kirby.
Yeah, that's Kirby.
I got
someone ripping them off. I mean, whatever, but I didn't know this existed, and it was just in a dollar bin.
I think that was a character that he created long ago, and it just none of the big guys took it. You know,
Yeah, Captain Victory ended up going to Tops, and Kirby wrote it on Tops.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I guess that maybe there's something to that one.
They got a card in it.
No, there's no card.
I don't think they did that for Pacific. Yeah, I think when they were in Tops, they did the trading cards and stuff.
But occupational hazards.
Which, what is that?
It's a benefit for the comic book legal defense fund, but it looks like it looks like ergonomics or something. Like
I don't think nobody buy that.
For $1 I got it.
Well, I'm talking about new off the shelf. It don't look too appealing.
Yeah. Uncanny is saying how you say that. Terrorist.
That's right. Yeah, you know they're pronouncing it and they're like, how do you spell that? Oh, it's just how it sounds. Terror. But yeah, the Sunrunners.
Okay, I remember seeing Sunrunners.
Imagine when you guys spell that terrorist for them people to put it in your box, and you're like, well, it's a new release. It's terrorist. Nobody can spell it.
The Deadbeats.
I'd read that. Yeah,
that looks cool. Yeah,
it's comics for people who love to read comics, and yeah, This one might not be bad, but it just looks so, of that era, and the Ultraverse, the Strangers.
There you go. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff at Ultraverse because, like Malibu, I'm starting to notice them now and be like, "What's this? I need to look into this."
And then I'll show a good one. The one I got. If you're watching the channel, you probably already saw this, but it was a really cool one. Actually, I got it, and Steven Steppo got a copy of this the same week. Neither of us knew independently. We were bidding on different copies of this, but from 1941, Shadow Comics, version 2, number 10. And this is a Crawley copy from the Crawley pedigree, but this Shadow. Let's see if we can do it with.
That's an amazing cover. I love it.
And we were talking. Steppo and I were talking. So there are 22 universal copies of this, and we each got one. So like, if you're looking for it, there are 20. That's what you got. That's what you got to choose from. That's left. Because I'm not getting rid of mine. I know he's not getting rid of his. But yeah, that's what I had.
Cool. Man, you brought the weird. I was not expecting the trash, but I love it. I love it, and I know there's a lot of people in the chat that love that too.
Yeah, well, I guess it's me next.
Next, Adam. And I'm thinking you're going to have some weird. I saw what you brought this morning.
I have another whole stack of weird, but I was actually trying to bring like the stuff that I really liked that I got this month.
That I really liked. That I really liked. Stuff I bought, but I really liked.
I mean, Gonad the Barbarian was
awesome.
That was a great one.
It was
Space
awesome.
2434, that was great too. But I got a couple some original art stuff. So I got
cool.
This is from the new Doctor Doom and Rocky Raccoon one shot. And I got this from Will Robeson, and this is kind of a telling Doom's origin story. So I got that page and the second like companion page where he's fighting the Thing, Surfer, Galactus.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But yeah, I just love those pages and got that sent to me. I also got Mike Deodato has a sketchbook, and I got him to do Dr. Doom.
Cool.
And this is like 100 and some like 130 page sketchbook, and it was
Wow.
like
I love that.
the shipping gets you, but it was like $20 to get a sketch.
Where do you find stuff like that? Because I never see stuff like that at my store. So
No, this Mike Diodato had it on his
Website?
it's on his website. It's
Okay.
like Mike Diodato Junior Store.com or something like that. He's from Brazil, so it took a little while, but got that. One of my favorite back issues that I read that I just got this month and
That's a
read
good
was
one.
this Supernatural Thrillers.
Nice.
I know, like Dope and Chanko, I don't know if you have read this, but
No.
such a great story. I mean, it's kind of got this like swamp creature, killing a dog and then another man, and it was like eating all these people, and then almost kills a girl, and then it just freaks her out for life. And it's just like such a dark story, but I was like, man, this is awesome. Like, we need horror like this again.
And it came out right at the same time as Swamp Thing and Man Thing.
Yeah. A key that I picked up that I was excited about, I got First Enchantress and Executioner.
Wow, cool.
I was, it's beat up. It's got some Chonko's dog got to it, so it's got some corner issues, but I've always liked Enchantress. I think she's a cool villain. So I got that. Another thing that I got from a Kickstarter is Jim Mafood. This is a whole Batman parody, Savage Street Vigilante. This is like probably the most fun thing that I read this whole thing. It's a total Batman parody. You can get it on Jim Mafood's website, but it has where Batman is basically killing a lot of his rogues gallery. And then he's like having sex with Wonder Woman and Catwoman and Poison Ivy in it. And then he gets in a big fight with Superman at the end. And he's getting ready to do another one that's a Spider-Man parody that's called Arachnid Enforcer. So they're going to do
That's the absolute Batman I want.
Yeah. So I mean, if this is the absolute Batman you want to read. So
it's absolutely dirty.
Yeah. This was a little risque, crazy Adam Hughes.
I was saying that looked like Adam Hughes. Okay.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Adam Hughes went ham on that one.
Yeah. And it's like, talking about the pixelated stuff in there, but that was just like, oh yeah, got to get that one. And this will also make, I don't know if Chonko or Dope seen this, but have y'all seen the Department of Truth?
I just saw this variant. I just saw it online. Yeah. That's amazing.
I love Department of Truth. It's awesome. And I thought this, homage was really cool. And they even did it like it's kind of weathered, like at the corner.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually
like the authentic type stuff. So that's what I have. Yeah.
Okay. Let me check real quick. I missed a couple comments here, and yeah, that art was awesome that you showed.
Yeah, thanks.
That's one thing I have yet to dive into is artwork, because just price tag on a lot of them. Like when I go to shows, I'll flip through, Artist Alley, their portfolios and stuff, and see the pages, and it's just like, man, this is a lot of comic books I could get for just this one print. But I totally love looking at that stuff, and I know I try to find some of the old veterans, from the 70s and 80s. And for that stuff, I sometimes find like reproductions. Somebody will make a poster print of it, which is kind of cool too, because some of those they'll actually have to the point where you can see the whiteout, or you can see tape from when they're taping, the lettering and stuff like that on there. So I think that may be the way that I need to go. But that original art is awesome, Adam.
But like the original art pages that I showed, those were. He's a digital artist. He did digital art for that. So those are one of one like artist proofs that he prints off, and then he's not going to print them for anymore. So it's like I own it. And it's kind of a way for a digital artist to do something with that.
Okay.
But digital art is a lot more affordable. So because of that,
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and that was one, like I just read the comic, and it was basically 2 pages of telling Dr. Doom's origin story retold. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. And so I reached out to the artist and just started chatting him up and tried to see if he was getting rid of anything, if he did anything like that. And he was like, yeah, sure, I can do that. So yeah.
Cool. Cool. Something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
I have a piece of art. If I
Yeah, you want to show
Oh,
us?
yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to jump on.
No, go ahead.
Well, you're talking about it. It's an artist I think we all like. But this is an original Mike Plug page from Planet of the Apes. So
Oh,
Oh
that's
my
awesome.
gosh, you got Planet of the Apes.
yeah, it's it's got like his writing on it. It's like telling them how, like the colors he wants them to use, and do
well,
this.
no, that's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of directing and stuff. So yeah,
Is that from the magazine, one of the magazine issues? Because I think you wrote some of the magazine stuff.
It's number 13, and
Yeah,
I
it would
don't
be.
know if I don't have it, so I can't really tell you. But it's a Planet of the Apes 13 from 1970.
I think I have that issue. I'm gonna.
Yeah,
look.
it's from the magazines, because I know the Adventures on the Planet of the Apes only went up to like 11 or something like
10
that.
or
So,
11. Yeah.
yeah.
It's probably the magazine then, but
Yeah, but that's amazing. That's great. And Mike Plug, I mean, it's a hard one to get somebody from.
One of my favorites. Totally underrated, and did some of the most iconic covers of the 70s and stuff. And one more thing, I just have Mark Spears. I think a lot of people like Mark Spears. I'm a big Mark Spears guy, and he did the cards really before the comics came out, and for set 2 of the cards, the Monsters cards, he randomly inserted the printing plate, like the 1-of-1 printing plate used for the cards. And I was able to acquire 2 of them. So this one is the Night Watcher. I don't see if it shows up. He's got this like a big eye and a demon thing. So this was used for printing that specific card. And then this one is Cuts the Clown.
Cool.
Oh wow.
But yeah,
that's creepy as hell.
So showing art, I had those couple of things that I thought you guys might like.
That's great. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to jump into my pile. Some of this, I actually just grabbed a second pile that I forgot I had, so I'm going to run through them quick. I found a bunch of 80s independent Aircell. I love this published comic from the 80s. They did Samurai. I think they only lasted about 3 years, but this is volume 2 of Warlock 5. I don't know why it's 5, but I have some of the first volume, but I found a full run of volume 2 of this awesome black and white comic.
I remember that series. I never collected it, but I remember when that was around.
Yeah, it's like now that I'm finding them, I'm appreciating them more for the stories that they're telling. So I've been picking up a lot that they're doing. So I got full set in one of the resale stores, 52nd Charles, I think it is. So yeah, number 2, I figure I just show off the covers. Here's number 3, and I found the full run. I think I went there when they just restocked the comics section. So to find them all together, I was like, holy cow.
Nice.
But yeah, all black
cool
and white.
covers.
I mean, I kind of have elf. Was it Elf?
Elf Quest.
Elf Quest. That's it. I don't know why I wanted to say something else, but yeah, it kind of has that vibe. They mix like sci-fi and fantasy and stuff, so I thought that was kind of cool. And then here's one that's been on my list. I got from Brandon at Mon Comics on one of his Whatnot sales. I've been trying to find this one, a nice copy forever.
That's nice.
And he put it up. I was like instantly claim. They have like a near mint copy of this in my store, my local store. I look at it every damn time I go in there, but it's just the money. I'm like, man, I don't want to spend that much. I want it kind of beat up. And finally found one. I love this cover.
Nice.
Speaking of werewolves, here's one that's been on the list for a while. Werewolf by Night number 10.
Oh,
where,
nice.
He's getting ready to kill his sister. And I like the fact that, yeah, she's in pants and stuff, but she's kind of still wearing the red dress, right?
Exactly, yeah. And are you collecting the run?
I have not started this run yet. I'm trying to finish off Tomb of Dracula, but oddly enough, I just looked. I have like half of this run already. Granted, most of them are dollar bin finds that I find. I pick them up. So it won't take me long to finish it because I have all the big books too for this series. I have Moon Knight's first appearance. I have number 1. I think Moon Knight's second appearance is the only other big book in this whole series. Maybe this issue, and then I think there's an issue where he fights Dracula for the first time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was cool to add to the collection. And then these next two is a character that I've always been interested in. I kind of find him intriguing because of his whole character is interesting to me. And I found Adventure Comics. This is the beginning of his little stretch in that story of Spectre. So I've been getting a little bit on a kick of Spectre lately. So I got this one. It's pretty nice grade. I got a couple from that.
I love the Spectre.
That adventure, that like 10 issue run is just amazing. Yeah.
The covers are great. I mean, there's one cover where it's a bunch of crooks or something. They're in a car and they're shooting behind them, and he appears in front of them. And it's like the lighting they used on it, like he's just appearing. I'm like, that's really cool. I mean, it's a time period that I love this classic art, the line work and stuff.
Yeah, such a dark story to it also.
Yeah.
So
complicated character, and I don't know if you saw, but Hagen it just started collecting the Spectre run. He was on Alan show, so you guys are coincidentally you're just started the same run.
I know, it's kind of weird. We're getting interested at the same time, and I mean, here's another one I got from his first series.
Yeah,
nice.
And I was just intrigued by this cover of that big hand reaching over the book, and he have all those like little, I don't know, they like little souls or something like that. It's just interpretation wise, you could come up with a couple different things, and I just thought it was neat.
Yeah, the Spectre's cool. And the same time when that was going on, you had Phantom Stranger too. That's really neat with a bunch of good covers.
Yeah, I like some of the cover. I think him with the cloak and stuff, he's a little more menacing looking than the Phantom Stranger has like a Feldora and
it's usually kind of Constantine-ish.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of like that 40s private detective type of looking guy, which is about the time he came out, right? All right, so now I'm going to get to some of the other. These are books that I just found this week. Real quick, found this one. I couldn't resist it because it made me laugh because I can hear his voice in my head. Yep. I just find it's a free comic book day, free for all. And what's Bart doing? He's reading all the comics. We've all been guilty of this in the store, reading the comics. And then
all our comics are bagged and board, and I think that's why, because they don't want you reading them.
Mine on the new racks aren't, but I remember back in the day, nothing was bagged and board, so you could just flip through everything. Okay, you guys know I'm a Space Ghost fan, so I finally found one of these. I think a couple times I've tried bidding on these, and I lost the bid on them. And the reason that they always go so quick is because it's Alex Ross cover. I need to find the rest of the series. It's like a 6-issue series, but I love Space Ghost. It's very nostalgia for me. I grew up watching the cartoon, the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons, like him and the other superhero like Herculoids and Mitor and all that stuff. I love those old cartoons. So finally got a hold of one of these things. I never find them. I'm kicking myself because about a month ago, somebody had a whole lot of those and all these other Space Ghost stuff. And I forgot about it. And it was a buy it now, and somebody else bought it, and I was so mad at myself.
Did you see the new series that's coming out, the Space Quest?
Yes, I don't know if I'm gonna get it. I've been getting the new series that Dynamite's doing with just him, and I love it because it's very adult themed. I mean, he's not just beating people; he's like putting them down. So it's very adult themed, and I did like the Johnny Quest series that they had not that long ago. But putting them together, I don't know if I'm gonna like that. I may check it out eventually, but
I pre-ordered the cover. I got the ash can of number one, and another Spears cover. So ordered that, and we'll see how it is.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out eventually though, just because I like Space Ghost so much. So, all right, so we're going to DC. This is one that's been on my list for a while. I've been hunting for a nice copy of this. I actually came across it's Gary Berghoff. I think that's how you say his name on eBay. It's a store that I came across through Mike at Lunch Money Comics because he always goes to this big sale they have. Well, on their eBay store, he had like up to 50% off on stuff. And they finally found one of these 50% off. So I got this for like 30 some bucks, I think.
Nice.
I mean, I ain't gonna find this any cheaper than that. And this was just one of those covers I love. This is totally a cover buy. It's a big ape. I love if you put an ape, or even better yet, apes with guns on a cover. I'm gonna buy it. It's just one of those things, and it's totally King Kong. I mean, he's in the Daily Planet. This is Titano's second appearance, but I couldn't hold back, so I got his first appearance too. And again, 50% off. So yeah, I think I ended up spending for both of these books $60 some, I think it was.
It's like 2 for 1.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, the price. I couldn't pass them up. I mean, this one I haven't seen before. This one I've been chasing for a while. I usually found it with a subscription fold, or the corners were all chewed up or something. I couldn't find a nice copy. And this one, it's nice. Like usually the spine's showing all its wear because of the dark. I was super happy to find that finally in the collection.
Go ahead and tell everybody in the chat that you're specking right now Titano in the new Superman movie.
There we go. That ain't me.
It's gonna be worth a lot of money.
And it looks like he's got I-beam powers or something.
He actually, so he shoots kryptonite I-beams. Is what he does. Okay. Because I think what it was that he went into space. I can't remember what they exactly say. I know they've changed his origin a little bit, but he came in contact with remnants of Krypton. So that's what mutated him to grow, because he's actually just a chimp, but he got mutated to gorilla size. So, because you can see it in here. Lois, he has a soft spot for Lois. So.
As they always do.
Yeah. And see, I'm going to go through the chat real quick here. A lot of people are saying Spectre's a great character. Trying to get that Spectre run. Yeah. And you know what? The Spectre run isn't super expensive. Number 1 can be pricey, but there's plenty of them out there that they're decent price. Okay. Thank you, K Munin. Okay, so next up, here's one. Nostalgia. Any child from the 70s may be familiar with this. I couldn't resist it when I saw it.
Oh, yes.
The Croft Super Show. I mean, look, they have all the little shorts on there. I mean, I forgot the kid's name, but he's with Bigfoot. It's got Bigfoot. That's another thing. Bigfoot's on the cover. I'm going to buy it.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, what was that kid's name?
And then, they got the Speed Buggy.
Speed Buggy.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember these. I know you can find this old show on like YouTube. They have Saturday morning shows all the time. So, yeah, it was one of those. I was like, I think I need that in the collection, as bad as it is. Tomb of Dracula, number 13 and number 14. Nice. So these are both on my yearly goal list. I'm trying to finish this run. I mentioned this earlier. So I am down with these 2 to 6 more. I need 6 more for the full run. This was a big one because it's the origin of Blade. They talk about how he became basically half vampire in this.
I finished it last year, and there's a lot of books that I didn't expect to be expensive. It was, second appearance of Blade you'd expect, but there's a lot of, first appearances of people I've never really heard of that they were wanting a lot of money for.
Yeah.
Hannibal King and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Deacon Frost is early in these books. Those are the ones that I need to get because they're the beginning of their storyline. So, but yeah, awesome classic covers too. I really like this one. He's in his coffin and they're getting ready to stake him. Whoever would have thought Dracula would have a 70-issue run? I'm like, he's a villain. He's the bad guy.
And that's the Blade I want. I want him to come out with a movie with the Blade with the fro and the yellow glasses and the wood stakes. I don't want the Wesley Snipes leather pants and all that.
I don't know. I like Wesley's attitude.
The katanas. I want the pork chop sideburns, the 70s. Yeah. I want to be like a 70s Cadillac. I want to be taking place in the 70s.
You basically want
Samuel L. Jackson.
You basically want Dolomite as Blade, is what you want.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd watch that. I'll admit it. I'll watch that.
Blade and Blackula, if you've seen it.
ODB, Old
I
Dirty
have
Bastard.
a little package
As
here.
Blade.
Another find, and I have my buddy that's on here tonight to thank for this because my store sold out of these. And they open it. So Adam so generously sent me Transformers number 18. I am loving this writing. This is like we talk about, like I mentioned, Space Ghost being for adults. This is Transformers for adults. This is not your kiddie cartoon. I mean, there's what they've had how many humans die already in this that are they were characters, and it's just like they got squished or something by these machines. And I like that they're starting to finally bring in that little bit of G.I. Joe world into it, because that's what it's supposed to be, a crossover series.
Let me ask you a question. Is the same artist still on it after 18 issues?
No, he comes and goes right now, right?
Yeah, that's what I hate about modern books, like especially Marvel. You'll have somebody like Nick Klein on Hulk, and then after about 6 issues, they go to some junky artist. And I'm thinking, it just ruins the whole vibe, you know?
I'll say, like, Daniel Warren Johnson did the first arc, and he's continued to write it. So he was writing and drawing it. And I think the artist that they got it kind of complements his style. So they didn't go like totally left wing. It still got good art in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the art. It's kind of gritty for Transformers. You know, we're used to the animated show where it was all clean and nice and stuff, but man, these things look like they're all banged up and dinged up and broken, and yeah. So love the series. I like what they're doing with it. It actually inspired me to go back and start getting the old Marvel series. I had like 1 through 20, and then I just stopped as a kid. So I've been starting to go back and get some of the issues when I see them.
You need to try to find them Generation 1 toys. They're probably pretty expensive these days.
I still have some. I've rebought some of them that are in nicer condition than what I have. Like I have guys where their arms are missing because they just broke. I played with them so much. But my son took them both for me and put them in nice little collector cases. And I'm kind of like, hey, that was my Megatron and my Optimus. But he thought they were so cool. He's like, I'm going to preserve these for you, Dad. I'm like, okay, whatever. All right. Last book was another big goal for me for this year. And it is my Aquaman number 29, right? Yeah, 29. First appearance of Ocean Master. So I'm doing pretty good on my goal list. I did not think I'd get this one in Black Manta right away. And such a nice looking copy too. This was one of those ones that I always found kind of banged up and stuff. It does have a little bit of a chip there, but colors look really great. So
go checks on the top.
Yep. I love the checkers on top. And it's kind of classic Aquaman. You got Aqualad there, and they're probably going to go ride that that swordfish later type of thing. So he's always riding some kind of fish. But yeah, this one's cross off my goal list. I still got plenty to go. Dracula's got me closer, but I still have a lot on that list. I still want to get Batgirl's first appearance. I still need Submariners number 1. And I have so many reprints of Conan number 1, but I don't have an actual original copy of it. So that's on my list also. But I see those ones normally, you know? So that's what I got for this month. You guys got anything else that you want to show off type of thing? I kind of ran through as fast as I could. I know I always get too much, but
I have a couple homage covers that I just picked up.
Okay.
Familiar with the Golden Age? I think it's Golden Age. Torchy. It's kind of like good girl art kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Carla Cohen. I don't know if anybody I love Carla Cohen.
I love Carla Cohen. Yeah.
I think she's fantastic.
I have that one. I have it in pink. I think they did pink.
Yeah, I just got this one, and this one is this isn't a top loader, but Tarasov, and it's a foil. Let's see if this shows up.
Yeah, it shows up good. I like that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Basically, it's the same pose, the kind of torchy thing, but those just landed on Friday. I wasn't even showing those on my channel, so they were here, so I figured since we're talking about something we just got, I just got those.
Yeah.
I've been working on a Fantastic Four Heroes jam with anybody that's been a member of the FF, and I have Carla Cohen drew me an Invisible Woman
Oh
on
wow, a
there.
commission?
Yeah, and then just like a small little thing, and then Lucio Perillo, who's her husband.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he drew Mr. Fantastic, so I had them do like husband wife, drawing the
Wow.
husband wife. Yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
What a great idea.
Yeah. So, and I've been working on, I have a villains jam piece that I have, and I just kind of blocked off some things and go around and get some different people to do things. And so I have one for the FF members and then their big villains. And, I'm thinking about some other things down the road if I get down to it. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, all right. I think that's about it for today's Sunday show off, guys. Is there anything coming up that you guys want to plug or talk about? Adam, what do you got coming up? Anything to note?
I'm gonna do a video just kind of on, because I do read a lot of new books, just some like my top 10 from March of what I've gotten. So I'm gonna work on that. And then I said something about it this morning on Nate Hagen show, but I have a sketch coming from one of the most loved comic characters ever by their original creator.
Cool.
So I have that coming. So I'll do a little video for that. And then I will be on Matt Likes Comics April 8th, I guess, a week from Tuesday.
Okay.
So I'll be on there for that. Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Chanko, what do you got coming on? I know we have C2E2 coming up pretty soon, right?
That's right. We'll have to talk about that. You get, figure out, are you staying near there, or are you going to be?
I drive in. I'm just going for one day. I'm going on that Saturday. So
okay. Well, yeah, let's figure something out. But I mean, we'll talk offline and get plans to hang out
and stuff. I got to start putting my plan together for my one day that I'm going to, so I don't spend the whole time standing in lines to, get signatures that I don't really need, and it's hard because when you go to cons, you want to meet these creators that's meant so much to you, but at the same time, I want to go digging, I want to go shop, and I want to, just see what there is to see. So I got to make that plan yet.
Yeah, getting the time right should be. But I'm doing 3 days, so I think I'll have time to do the stuff I need to do.
Okay.
And I am going to get some signatures too. But
you said you were going to film some stuff for the event.
That's the plan. I got a GoPro, and my girl Mo's coming with. We'll see if we can finagle her into filming me or whatever.
Tell him that
it's so hokey. If that, I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, that's a lot of times I bring my wife to these things just more or less so she kicks me in the butt to get this stuff done. Okay, this is what I want to do. Please kick me in the butt if I'm not doing this stuff. So
she was like, I'd really like to go. I'm like, okay, but we're like going. It's gonna be like we're doing like it's like comic nerd stuff. So just so you're ready. She's like, I just
all the wall nerds.
Yeah, it's gonna be deep in it, but we'll do other stuff too. Because we're gonna stay in the city. But anyway.
Okay.
The next thing I have, I'm going to be on Rob's Fat Stacks. I'm going to do Only Slabs. Coming up in April. I forget which day. I have to look it up, but it's on Rob's channel. If you guys subscribe to Rob, so it's going to be. I know I showed up most of my cool stuff with Alan this week. I was asking Alan what he wanted me to show, and he's like, show like your big stuff, and I was like, okay. And so that's kind of what I did. And I think on Rob's, it's going to be similar. And there might be a couple different things, but it'll be, a lot of pre-code horror and that kind of stuff showing. And I don't know if those guys like that stuff, but but that's what I plan on doing. I plan on, if my big slab stuff is all,
I don't think there's enough out there. I don't see a lot. I mean, the only time I see is like recently from you, and then I see stuff from you too, Dope, on that kind of stuff. So, and that's an interest I have. That's one of the things I want to look at for when we go to Heroes Con. Dope. I didn't mention that to you, but it's one of the things on my goal list from for the year is to get at least one book that's a pre-code. It could be horror. It could be the Shadow comics. It could be something from that era that I don't have anything that old in that from that time period. So, but yeah, it's cool to see it because it's just like, oh wow, I've never seen that.
If there's something you're looking for specifically, or if as you're looking, let me know. And
All right.
I got some tips on where to find some things, off the beaten path, and sometimes where you can get it for less expensive than certainly less expensive than eBay.
Yeah.
But,
all right.
That's the only thing I think that I have really coming up is, and then we've been talking. Big Nasty and I we're still trying to put together like a stream, and it's me that's holding it back, but we're trying to do that. So.
You're getting there. You're learning pains, growing pains.
It's tragic.
No, you guys are doing fantastic. I think
That's
all
great.
you guys that are just jumping right into it, Adam, you, and Big Nasty, it's just like, holy cow. When I got into it, I didn't have any of that. It was just me watching what other people did and trying to copy them, type of thing. All right, Dope. What do you got coming up? Anything cool besides for the FOMO squad?
Well, we always do our thing. I don't know if we'll be doing that I'm sure we'll do one this month, like always.
Yeah.
And then, I'm off every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so I'll probably do a hunting video, and then I'll do my new comic book day on Wednesday. And I've got these two brand new number ones, so I'll probably do a review of Far Down Below, and I still got to read this Aura kid story.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You got that. Yeah.
So I got that going on. So every other day I'm doing something on here. So just tune in and find out.
You tend to drop like the shorter videos, but it's nice because it's like it's easier for you to get them done, and then us to digest them too. And
mine's usually about 10 minutes longer, shorter. So
Far Down Below was great.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a good one.
Well, I got to read it still, so we'll see how it goes.
Let's see what we got. I'll check in here with the chat real quick. K Munin says, fun live stream, interesting games. Catch you all again. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you for joining in. And then RPO said, great show. Also had a blast listening in. Thank you for joining us. And if you guys are checking in late, make sure you go ahead and check out the whole show because, like, I know Uncanny Derek jumped in late, so he missed our first game. And make sure you hit that like button, you guys. I appreciate that. And check out all my guests. I have links to all their, whether it's YouTube or Instagram, so you guys can follow them. Check out their stuff online. But that's all we got for this live Sunday show off, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you guys for coming in and chit-chatting and playing games with me. Dope. Thanks for coming in last minute. I appreciate that. And that's going to be it. So let me find all my buttons. Stevie D saying cool show. Thank you for joining us, Stevie. And there we go. All right. We will talk to you guys next time. And while you're out there, happy questing and have a good one.